I mean, there's just a whole world we go into that is so, there's several worlds that we go into that are so out of control.
I'm Russ Milheim from The Direct. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me about Peacemaker Season 2.
Of course. Wow, I love your setup behind it. That glass case has got some amazing figures in there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff to look at.
Are those sideshow?
Yeah, oh yeah, these are Hot Toys. And then
Yeah.
this is actually a custom Nova statue.
Wow.
And then there's a custom Star Wars statue, and then that one is a sideshow statue.
Love it. Love it, man.
Oh yeah. But so we actually spoke years ago for season 1 of Peacemaker.
Oh, that was
Finally back.
definitely years ago.
Yeah. It was a while ago. But so I've seen the first 5 episodes and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And you get a nice role in this season, a very important piece in the narrative. My first question is really about that. And John is in a unique position this season. He's obviously friends with Peacemaker and the whole 11th Street kids, but now he's being kind of cornered into basically trying to take Peacemaker down. Yet that doesn't stop John from doing his best to make a stand when he can.
Yeah.
My first question is he ever going to get his due credit by the end of the season? I just feel like no one's going to notice. They're going to be like, "Oh, John, are you doing anything?"
Well, I gotta say, those last three episodes that you have not yet seen are like three of my favorite episodes of the entire series. I can't give away too much, but I'm very happy with the way the show turned out. And oh my God, yeah, it's this is a this is a really epic season.
How would you say that John's situation in this season and how he reacts to it throughout, how does it perfectly kind of showcase his evolution as a character, since we last saw him in season 1 and prior?
I got a feeling that Economist was mostly a loner in season one. And then oddly, throughout that season, he kind of formed this bond, which was new territory for him with the 11th Street kids, with Cena and Jen and Danielle and Freddie. And, uh, it definitely has morphed into something stronger in season two. Like he's actually has some loyalty to some friends and is, we see when episode one starts up that he's kind of being, his loyalty is being tested between his job and his friendship.
I mean, I think he's doing a pretty good job at balancing it though. So,
He really is,
and
yeah.
he better get his due, he better get a moment where everyone appreciates everything he's doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How would you break down John's like relationship with Chris? Because honestly, they don't talk too much on screen, or they don't have like, these close like bond moments. But they're obviously close, and they've been through a lot. So how would you
Yeah.
describe that relationship between those two?
It's almost, it reminds me of movies like, how old are you? You're young. You're in your 30s, aren't you?
31, yes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Well, I'm 56, and there were a bunch of movies back in like the 70s and 80s. There was a movie in the early 80s called My Bodyguard where there was a character who was just kind of a dorky kid who kind of befriended like this big kind of wrestler who kind of like got had his back and watched out for him. It's kind of like that. It's just this, and but I think it's also a mutually beneficial relationship. Also, like, the 21 Jump Street reboots where Channing Tatum is like the big, physically imposing dominant male, and Jonah Hill is just like he knows all the technical stuff and the rules and the jargon, and they benefit off each other. And I think that's a similar relationship with Peacemaker and Economist. Like I definitely benefit from this dude's muscle and ability to fight and protect. And, you know, I'm kind of keeping him afloat through my connections at Argus.
Again, I think John's the secret superhero this season.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
another relationship that kind of blossoms this season, for better or worse, is with you and Vigilante, who now has this obsession towards you, and you're very nice about it. Honestly, it's kind of
Yeah.
you're very welcoming of it. So how does that compare to your relationship with Chris? And is it really just kind of John just letting it happen? Is there any actual like, oh, okay, I'm okay to talk to you. This is cool, I guess.
Well, there's an element of just economists tolerating
Yeah.
Vigilante, but also, it's one of those band of brothers. Like the end of season one, we went through a lot together at that final fight at the farm with the butterflies and the giant cow, and like it really was our Vietnam, you know? So I think I'm tied to Vigilante for good now, no matter what. And he tests my last nerve. Not as much as he does with Harcourt, but yeah, I tolerate him. But it's like having a little brother.
I hear
Um,
he knows all about owls and spiders. Uh, so he's a very
yeah,
knowledgeable guy.
he's been reading up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I want to also ask about obviously last season the dance sequence, which just kind of went viral and everyone loved it and it became this huge thing. So going into season two, filming this new dance sequence, what was that like? Especially with the pressure of like, damn, everyone really loves this. How do we at least do something as great?
It's weird because I hate dancing. I
Same, same.
I'm not super, coordinated, and I'm easily embarrassed by stuff like that. And but the performer in me, the actor who's constantly seeking approval and attention, loves the fact that and appreciates the fact that it's one of the most popular parts of our show with the audience. So I'm not going to not do anything, and I fully trust James, creatively. So much like Vigilante, I tolerate the dance numbers. Uh, this new dance number is much larger. I mean, we have a much bigger cast this season. And I mean, as I'm sure everyone knows, it's got to be a new dance number because a lot of the people in that first one are dead.
They
um,
don't exist anymore.
we did that first dance. We recorded the first dance in one day. Like not even I don't even know if it was a full day. Um, and the second one took two very full days of shooting.
I thought you were about to say like 2 weeks. I was like, damn, you really
No,
went
it
hard.
was 2 days. Carissa Barton, our choreographer, is like so good. And we had rehearsals leading up to it. So it wasn't like we went in cold to learn it.
Yeah.
Everyone knew their parts. It was broken down into parts. So it wasn't like I had to memorize dance for like the full minute or whatever the opening credits are. But yeah, it's epic. It's an epic. I can't
It's a,
wait for
it's a big
people to
one,
see
yeah.
it.
I was happy that I was surprised because I was at Comic-Con, and then during the panel, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna," because I mean, I knew what it was, but I was like, "All right, they're gonna tell everyone what it is." And then they waited till the Peace Fest at night, and I was like, "Okay, they finally told everyone. That's good."
Yeah, there was debate right up to the last minute, right up until probably a few hours before the Hall H panel of whether or not they were going to show the dance number. Like it was queued up, they had it ready to show, and then James thought, we have the band Foxy Shazam here. They're playing at our after party, the Peace Fest. He's like, I think we should announce it. Well, we won't see it, but announce the
Yeah.
the song and the band at Peace Fest. So I think it worked out, and it also just now gives people something more to look forward to.
Now I want to pull back a second, just to the wider DCU. This came up again very recently, but James Gunn has been very open about how he hated that Shazam after credit sequel or sequence rather. Uh, I just want to know, have you talked to James about his thoughts on that and like just yeah, his feelings about that scene?
No, I remember when when I was asked to do it, my agent said, you know, you have an offer to do this end credit scene for Shazam. I was like, I go, is James okay with it? Because, you know, we're playing characters that are, you know, based from a world that well, he didn't create the comics, but he brought them to life. So I know these are characters that are close to him. So I did ask him. I was like, you know, I was like, you're cool with us doing this? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you know, go ahead, do it. Um, I didn't know he wasn't super thrilled with it. I think at the moment, like when we were ramping up to do it, it God, it's so hard to say, you know, what it's going to be as to what it turns out being.
Yeah. One could say
It
the management at the DCU was a tricky situation back
Well, yeah,
then.
there wasn't really a forward plan at the DCU at the time, so it was kind of like grasping for like, well, maybe we can bring in, you know, this other group and introduce them, and so we'll try and set that up with this post credit scene, which, you know, then once James took over DC, it it made that scene make even less sense. So, you know, James has this whole thing now about what's canon and what isn't, you know.
Yeah, that after credit scene, not canon. Sorry, you've never met Shazam.
Yeah. It was fun to shoot though, you know.
I imagine. I also want to ask about the poster right behind you, Creature Commandos.
Yep. Right there.
Can you I obviously season 2 is in development. Can we expect to maybe see more of you pop up there?
I hope so. You know, I was really excited to do this mainly because I've done a lot of voiceover for cartoons and stuff, but it's always like a weird monster or a creature or a crazy character. It's not my voice. This is like the closest thing to myself that I've gotten to do as far as animation goes. So I was really excited to do it. It was a really easy gig. You know, I'm only in like 3 or 4 of the episodes, so it was just like an hour or two of me recording in a booth with James on Zoom, and it was an easy gig, and it turned out great. Of course, you know, James has like a great vision of where he wants the universe to go. So it was fun. I really hope. I assume. I, I assume, but you know,
I
that's
mean,
never.
I think it's a safe assumption, but
It's never a guarantee. But yeah, I would assume that we'll probably see him at least a little bit.
you mentioned you also, you get to do like the like creatures and other stuff, and an obvious example of that is King Shark, who
Yeah,
actually does show up at the end of Creature Commando season 1.
yeah.
But obviously you did the on-set work. Is that some that on-set work? If James Gunn were to ever bring that character back, would you be right there ready to go?
100%. Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat. It was so much fun to do. And there's so much I even though Stallone is doing that voice, there's so much of Steve Agee in King Shark, right down to the like you see King Shark running and he's pulling up his shorts. That was me. Like they gave me shorts that were too loose and they kept like I'm literally every time you see King Shark pulling up his shorts, that was Steve Agee on set, like going, God damn it, there's no drawstring on these shorts.
Has King Shark come up in a conversation between you and Gunn in like the last year or two?
No.
Uh, I gotta see
But
more of
But
Shark.
he was he was a fan favorite. So, you know, I don't know how far in advance James has planned things out, but again, I would assume we would see King Shark at some point. I don't know if we will, but I would love it. I had so much fun.
I find it fun how like especially watching season 2 of Peacemaker, where they're like kind of selectively showing you what is still canon, and you can see I feel like I can see Gunn going, all right, we're gonna call this person out, but we're gonna avoid this. and is just waiting to be like, all right, we're gonna slowly confirm what part of that movie is still canon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully King Shark is still a part of that.
I think so. I hope so at least.
Now, I also noticed you're wearing a Superman sweater. Yeah. Okay, where were you? Where were you during the events of Superman? You know, John is doing such a good job in Peacemaker season 2, but you just slacked off
I
during.
was at Belle Reve kind of getting, or then actually going back to Argus, getting new assignments, being I was probably I was probably surveilling and keeping track when you see Peacemaker being interviewed by Michael Ian Black and those like kind of Fox News type
Yeah.
shows. John Economos was probably outside that building in a van, like monitoring the whole thing.
Was there ever a conversation to put you in like an after credit scene or a little bit, or you just
For
didn't make that one?
for Superman, no, there was
Yeah.
never a discussion, sadly.
You know, but John is always there. He's always just off frame watching, making sure everyone's behaving.
He's always there in the shadows, lurking.
Now, I want to jump back to focus real quick on Peacemaker. We're at season 2. How would you say, what about season 2 are you so excited about and you think is going to really blow fans away compared to season 1? That's really just going to trump what people expect coming out of season 1.
Oh man,
I
I
know it's
mean
like
the
picking your favorite child,
I
but
know it's so. I mean, there's just a whole world we go into that is so. There's several worlds that we go into that are so out of control. I, I mean, you see a little bit of it in the trailers. It's insane. It's so much. It's on such a grander scale this season, and the last three episodes are.
I know I'm so sad I haven't seen them yet. Ugh,
I know, and there's a
impatience.
reason. There's a reason for it. Which will obviously become apparent when you do see them. And I can't wait for people, the people who haven't seen anything, I can't wait for obviously to see, but like even people like yourself who've only seen five, you're
Are we
gonna
gonna
have
see?
that you have to wait like a couple months till you catch up.
I know, I know. Hopefully, there's someone behind the scenes will decide, okay, we can now send out those last 3 episodes. That's what I have to
Maybe,
cross out on my fingers.
maybe that would be nice.
You're never going to be able to answer this question, but watching, obviously there's an alternate dimension that the trailers show.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see an alternate Economos? Like what is this other Economos doing?
I
We,
can't say
I know.
anything. I
What
can't
is your
say anything.
dream Economos? Let's go hypothetical here. If we
Oh,
Peacemaker season 1 with this, I mean, or not, just Peacemaker has this, John. If we go into this perfect thematically, there's this perfect universe. Everyone is just their perfect selves. What does that look like for John?
John would have facial hair that didn't need to be dyed. It would be natural color. It would not go gray. He would be thinner, in better shape. He'd be a total ladies' man. All the shit that I want for myself as a
You're
human.
like, hey, James, can we just write this in there? I just want my perfect self. If Cena can get his perfect self, give me mine.
Yeah, if we do a third season and we explore this deeper, can we really go all out on another economist?
Thank you so much for talking to me about Peacemaker.
Of
I look forward
course.
to seeing the last 3 episodes, and I
Dude.
expect nothing less than the craziest shit I've watched
Oh
all
man, I
year.
can't even tell you. It's off its hinges, man. It's great.